Chukma, sahulchafort carry chu. Chakasha sayacha chakashanompa itanali. Chakashi yagni atali. Greetings, my name is Carrie Chu. I'm a citizen of the Chickasaw Nation and a language learner. I'm based in the Chickasaw Nation. Welcome to this presentation about creating online language courses that center Indigenous ways of knowing and being. This presentation shares an open access digital guide to creating online Indigenous language courses that center Indigenous ways of knowing and being. The guide is the outcome of 2 years of research about how Indigenous peoples enact relational epistemologies in online Indigenous language courses. This presentation will take you through the guide and also share about our creation process. The guide can be viewed online here. You can also download a PDF version here. The guide was created by a small team. Courtney and Melvin are PhD students at the University of Oklahoma and worked with me as research assistants. Jackie works with me as a research coordinator under the Natalnuk One Mind, One People partnership at University of Victoria. Each has contributed to both research and writing. I acted as an editor, author, and research lead for this project. The vision for this project emerged from my work with Lacoche and Juliet Morgan at Chickasaw Nation to create Chickasaw Rosetta Stone. Through our experiences of learning by doing, I recognized a need for resources to support Indigenous peoples creating online courses for their languages, and saw this project as a way to help meet this need. Before we get into the contents of this guide, I want to talk about relationality as the guiding concept for this work. In Indigenous epistemologies, relationships between humans, land, plants, animals, spirits, and languages do not merely shape reality, they are reality. For this reason, language revitalization and reclamation is not just about learning and teaching languages effectively. It also requires upholding the worldview and understandings within the language, or the spirit of the language. For Indigenous peoples displaced from their territories with large diasporic populations, or few or no remaining speakers, digital technologies can be powerful tools for sharing language. At the same time, these technologies, usually created by Western for-profit companies, are the extension of the knowledge and belief system which has led to their creation, and can therefore act as yet another form of colonization that reinforces Western knowledge systems and worldviews. Decolonizing digital technologies requires Indigenous leadership in all aspects of technology development to ensure that the needs, values, and aspirations of Indigenous peoples are prioritized. Honoring the spirit of languages in both on and offline spaces entails re-emplacing it in a relational epistemology that holds language in a particular way, one that binds generations to land and is an anchor in retaining a relational balance with the rest of the natural and spiritual world. To create an online Indigenous language course, Indigenous peoples typically partner with established technology providers. There are over 100 online Indigenous language courses across various platforms. This is a map that Courtney, Melvin, and I created of these courses and platforms, and you can view this map here. While there are a small number of platforms developed specifically for learning and teaching Indigenous languages, most online Indigenous language courses are on these platforms. 7,000 Languages is an independent nonprofit organization that supports Indigenous language revitalization efforts through free online language courses. It uses a platform donated by Transparent Language. 7,000 Languages honors data sovereignty, holding that the data and language content belong to the Indigenous nations, communities, and people who partner with the nonprofit. Kudu focuses on online skill-based education, including but not limited to languages. Kudu offers over 160 languages, including some Indigenous languages. But unlike other platforms, Kudu charges directly for Indigenous language courses. Drops teaches language as 5-minute bites of game-based content. Drops offers 37 languages and has a commitment to offering Indigenous and endangered languages. Duolingo takes a gamified approach to learning. While Duolingo has relied on a crowdsourced volunteer model in the past, Indigenous language courses were created in partnership with Indigenous organizations. Mango Languages has over 70 language courses, including Indigenous languages. The company supports language revitalization and offers all Indigenous language courses for free. Memrise is unique in that it supports community-created courses developed by individual users. There are many community-created Indigenous language courses. Because anyone can create a course for free by uploading their own content, course quality tends to be inconsistent, and it's often unclear whether the user had permission from the language community to create the course. There are some courses, however, that state that they were created by a community's language program. Rosetta Stone has created courses in partnership with Indigenous nations and organizations through its Endangered Language program. Indigenous partners work with Rosetta Stone to create custom courses, and they retain sales and distribution rights. Rosetta Stone has taken steps to respect Indigenous partners' intellectual property rights. Each of these platforms offer key features, including video, images, audio, text-based instruction, and assessment to support language learning and teaching. This table shows a comparison of course features by provider. As shown in the table, not every platform offers each feature. Our research used a decolonizing and relational methodology to 1. Document existing online Indigenous language courses. 2. Analyze courses for examples of centering relationality. And 3. Co-create knowledge with those who have created or are creating online Indigenous language courses. This research included a review of Indigenous language courses, interviews with course creators, and a virtual gathering for those using technology to support language revitalization. Importantly, our research did not evaluate courses or platforms in terms of effectiveness or style. Rather, we prioritize examples of how course creators used course features to express relational epistemologies. We did this because we wanted outcomes of the research to be useful to Indigenous peoples creating online courses regardless of which platform they might use. We also wanted to share ideas about creating video, images, audio, text-based instruction, and assessment materials with communities that might be engaged in these language documentation activities, but not necessarily creating a full online course. Now we'll look at examples. The creation of audio content is a major part of the work to create an online Indigenous language course. The use of audio in online courses has many benefits to learners, including pronunciation improvements and reducing anxiety about practicing in front of other people. Here are some ways course creators centered relationality in audio components of their courses. Recordings of individual vocabulary words are important for language learners, but also critical are recordings of the words used in complete sentences and in a variety of culturally relevant contexts. For example, in Chickasaw Rosetta Stone, the word for brother is introduced as a vocabulary word in a lesson focused on kinship terms. In other parts of this lesson, the term is used in complete sentences like This lesson teaches learners about how noun affixes are used to express relationships and how different types of relationships are understood through the historic clan system. Some courses enacted relational epistemologies by teaching learners how to interact with other than human relations, such as land, water, plants, animals, and other beings, or by showing how other than human beings interact in the language with each other. In a later Chickasaw Rosetta Stone lesson, the term Inukfi is revisited to tell a Shekonopa, or a traditional story, about why turkey chest feathers look the way they do. Turkey interacts with Turtle and his brothers after finding a lock of Chickasaw hair, which becomes Turkey's chest feathers. In the Shekonopa, learners see examples of Turkey and Turtle speaking Chikashinompa, or Chickasaw language, to each other, reflective of a time when many beings spoke the language. Modeling conversations is a way to show variation and teach things like how to ask and answer questions, take turns talking, express interest in or disagreement with what someone is saying, joke or tease, and more. These skills help learners to build and strengthen relationships with other people. The Cherokee Mango Languages course includes audio of conversations between two speakers, Cherokee National Treasures and First Language speakers John Ross and Anna Sixkiller. You hear an example of audio of speakers conversing in the language. Audio recordings of conversations help prepare learners to use what they're learning in their communities with other people. Course creators may also consider including examples of both scripted and unscripted conversations between speakers so that learners can hear the many ways people express themselves through language. Several courses demonstrated efforts to include audio from many speakers, including those of different ages, proficiencies, and from different regions. Because first language speakers are often elders, this approach helps to address language ideologies about speakerhood and age. Including younger speakers of varying proficiencies normalizes the everyday use of language among younger generations. Some courses also supported language teaching across regions and dialects, and therefore included speakers of multiple varieties of the language. The Kwakwala 7000 language course had speakers from different Kwakwakiwak communities. As stated in the course description, this approach values dialectical difference to affirm identity. It's important to share information about the speakers whose voices are heard in courses. In our review, we found that many courses included audio of unidentified speakers. One reason for this lack of identification is that the platforms did not have designated places in courses to credit contributors. Some course creators worked around this by repurposing existing course features, such as a text-based activity, to share credit and/or speaker biographies. In the Michif 7000 language course creators included biographies and photographs of all contributors. Communities use photographs, artwork, and other graphics in their courses to build relationships with learners and help learners create connections to the language they're learning. If the platform supports photographs, course creators may use a mix of stock and custom photographs. Custom photographs are created by the community specifically for their course. While it may be ideal to have all custom images, the sheer volume of images required to make a course makes this unfeasible in most cases. Course creators may strike balance by creating custom images for terms related to ancestral foods, cultural items and practices, and specific places significant to the community, while locating stock images for more common terms like cat or apple. Some platforms like Duolingo, Kudu, and Drops use branded art for images. It can be difficult to enact relationality using graphics of generic places and ethnically ambiguous people. Wanting to include more relevant imagery, the Duolingo Olelo Hawaii team collaborated with a local artist to create images that use Duolingo's color palette and art style. The resulting images enact relationality by giving Olelo Hawaii learners a visual representation of familiar foods. Course creators made decisions together about which plant relations were important to include and how they would be represented. Some courses used custom artwork by community members to express concepts that photographs or other graphics could not. Communities can use existing artwork or collaborate with an artist to bring their visions to life in ways that reflect the community's values and traditions. One example in the Ojibwe Rosetta Stone course is the image associated with the vocabulary term for spirit. Video is a useful tool, yet not all platforms support video. Rosetta Stone Chickasaw and Ojibwe courses were the only ones to build lessons primarily around video content. In both the Chickasaw and Ojibwe courses, each lesson begins with a scripted and professionally produced immersive short video that introduces the lesson's theme along with key vocabulary and grammar. The videos revolve around an intergenerational Indigenous family doing activities together in their home and in their nation. As with audio, videos are especially helpful learning tools when they share complete sentences and conversations in culturally relevant contexts. In both courses, videos highlight culturally significant activities like gathering and preparing traditional foods, hunting, community feasts or meals, kinship relationships, regalia, and prayer. For example, in Chickasaw Rosetta Stone, a series of videos follow the family through the process of gathering, cleaning, cooking, and eating a tonfula imithla, or wild onions. Similarly, an Ojibwe Rosetta Stone video shows the family gathering and preparing wild rice by knocking it into their canoe, parching it over a fire, threshing it by stepping on it, and then winnowing it to remove holes. These videos emphasize relationships between people, land, food, water, and spirits. Text-based instruction refers to the use of text in English or another language the learner already knows to explain grammar and cultural concepts. Many Indigenous languages have complex grammatical structures that are challenging to teach in an asynchronous learning environment. Grammatical explanations can help teach polysynthetic languages in which the words are composed of morphemes. Teaching morphemes and offering direct grammatical instruction allows for deeper engagement with cultural concepts and an appreciation for the beauty of Indigenous languages. Indigenous language courses prioritize practical and culturally relevant examples. The Potawatomi Mango Languages course teaches language about clan relationships using color coding. This color coding helps learners to understand how Potawatomi morphemes correlate to English words. This card is complemented by an explanation that clans are beings to which Potawatomi people are related. In addition to sharing information about grammar usage, several courses also included cultural information and teaching as written text. The Ojibwe Rosetta Stone course creators integrated cultural practice throughout all lessons and used shorter modules to provide additional information about the culture in English. This image shows an example of sharing cultural protocols surrounding tobacco. Additional teachings related to tobacco were discussed in other parts of the course. Course creators worked with elders to determine what cultural knowledge to share or omit. While online courses can be powerful tools for sharing knowledge, Indigenous peoples must decide what is appropriate to share in this format. The platforms we reviewed approached assessment through quizzes and tests, or through games and gamification. Approaches to assessment in CALL courses tend to be very rigid, with questions typically only allowing one correct answer. Because of this, it was difficult to see the enactment of relational epistemologies through simply reviewing courses. While working on Chickasaw Rosetta Stone, creators took an innovative approach to the assessment activities in lessons that conveyed traditional stories. The story lessons share the same story in a variety of formats, such as through video with narration and through audio clips paired with grammar instruction. The goal of each lesson is to prepare learners to retell the story in their own words to someone else. The assessment section shares the story in shorter audio segments paired with questions that emphasize listening comprehension and critical thinking. The questions ask what happened in the story and why characters may have acted the way they did. This holistic approach supports learners as they engage with the story. Giving learners the goal of sharing the story with someone else was a way to help learners take what they learned online and bring it back into offline environments, such as the home or the community. The guidebook discusses these topics and others, like what goes into choosing a platform and how communities represent different orthographies and dialects in courses. The creativity of Indigenous language course creators is inspiring, but also speaks to a greater need for technologies created for language revitalization in collaboration with and under the leadership of Indigenous peoples. Thank you for watching this presentation and for using Learning in Relation, a guide to creating online Indigenous language courses that center Indigenous ways of knowing and being. Yakoke Hachimenile.